Watch out!
Ugly boxes, high prices, paid tutorials. Many of us left the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct extremely excited for what's to come, but were quickly turned back around when we dug a little deeper and realized just how expensive everything is. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys today. No sugarcoating anything. This was a very hard video for me to make, and I've sat on it for a few days. And I decided that it is worth it for me to come out here and talk about this because what's happening is important. And we all need to know who to blame because a lot of people I'm seeing are blaming the wrong people. Now, I'll admit that any sort of video like this where I tackle real world topics are hard for me. You might not know it because I seem, sure of myself and confident on screen, but these things affect me too. And because of that, it's really hard to cope with it, and it does put me in some negative mental spaces. But it's important that we get out here and we talk about this together so that we know what the solutions are. Now, we're in a position right now that's kind of unprecedented, where the real world is affecting our video games. And that's always been the case. And the real world has always affected every aspect of our lives, but it's so blatantly obvious right now that I feel the need to come out here and make sure that we're all on the same page, because we really need to make sure that we proceed forward in the correct ways and that things don't get too bad for us. Because, they're already bad, but we need to make sure that we make them better and that we fix this before it's too late. As of the recording of this video, the news has actually gotten even worse. More Trump tariffs were placed on Japan and China, and it's so bad that Nintendo is pulling their pre-orders and deciding behind the scenes that they need to raise their prices even further for US customers. And when they do, they're deciding by how much exactly. The numbers are projected to get as high as I predicted 4 months ago when word of these tariffs first came to light. I tried to warn gamers that the cost of the Switch 2 could start as high as over $600, and physical games could be as high as $112, and it's looking like that's going to be the case more and more. Project 2025, as it was outlined, is clearly coming to fruition. Trump's purposeful collapse of the US economy is affecting all of us, and it's all for the sake of lining his own pockets and making his best friends Vladimir Putin and Elon Musk happy. It's quite literally all at our expense. Now, not everyone will admit this, but I will. I usually love to say, I told you so, but today's not one of those days. No, today's a rare instance where I hate to say it. And you want to know why? Because people are unhappy. People are suffering. And I don't rejoice in that one bit. Sadly, wishing harm upon others is what got us into this in the first place. A lot of people do revel in hurting others, and that's honestly a huge part of why Trump became so popular. Many people will happily hurt themselves if it means they can hurt others more. The mentality basically is, it doesn't matter if my arm gets cut off, as long as that immigrant over there gets both of theirs chopped off. Or it doesn't matter if this administration cuts both of my legs off, just so long as that trans person from across the country that I'll never meet gets tortured. Listen, that's how dumb so many Americans sound when they talk about their politics. And yes, I'm saying that with air quotes. But now the joke is on them, because the kinds of people who voted for Trump and his dystopian policies with glee are now the ones who will be suffering the most. Rightfully so, but the rest of us, we gotta suffer with them, and we are not having fun. I'm proud of large news outlets and even some large gaming news outlets for finally calling this out for what it is. Even sites like Nintendo Life are referring to these price hikes being caused by Trump tariffs in their video titles. Finally, I don't have to feel like I'm the only one trying to bridge what's happening in the real world to how it's affecting our gaming landscape. Been hard, and yes, I've been dragged through the mud for it because I'm simply not as big or don't have as much influence as these larger creators, but that's not to say I haven't been trying to get the word out, or that I had tried to warn people as much as possible before our elections were held in this country. I've been trying, and it's been a lonely road, and it hurts to see so many of my friends in the gaming community suffer because I essentially, I guess, was yelling into a void. So let's make one thing very clear. Dictators like Donald Trump are to blame for the hiked prices in gaming. I'll say it loud and with bravado so you can all understand that. The felon-made president has sparked a trade war with pretty much every nation that isn't run by his best friend dictators like Russia and North Korea. Yeah, they were like the only ones who didn't get tariffed. I wonder if there's a pattern there. He's not even trying to hide it at this point, I'll be honest. He's even gamed the system and implemented his cronies into every branch of government, including the Supreme Court, to make it possible for himself to become a dictator. He will be able to do this before his 4-year term is up. I keep warning you guys, you keep saying it's a pipe dream, but look what's going on around you. We here in the US will not only be forced to accept this against our will, but we will be suffering as we do. Even our closest friend and literal neighbor, Canada, who borders us to the north, has been made a target by tariffs from Trump. He's purposely alienating the United States from its closest allies and forming pacts with the authoritarian bullies. We're likely witnessing the beginning of the complete downfall of America as the sole world power, all for the sake of one 80-year-old man who didn't want to go to prison for his crimes, so he ran for the US presidency again. All right. Enough of the real-time history lesson. After all, aren't we here to talk about our games and what's happening there, right? Well, now you have context for what's happening, and let's look at how Nintendo actually tried to prevent these real-world circumstances from affecting us beforehand. Recently, they revealed that they've created a system that allows players to use their digital downloads for games as if they were real physical game cartridges. We can share and swap them the same way we can with physical versions, and Nintendo has kept the price of their digital games less than their physical ones. They didn't have to do that. This entire system was put in place because they knew of the trade wars that were about to kick off worldwide thanks to Trump. This trade war isn't just affecting prices for US citizens, it's affecting prices globally. The partnership between the United States and Japanese gaming industry was a major force in their profits. So, now with that being strained, and the nation they manufacture in being China also being strained by the US, the cost of their goods worldwide is set to be adjusted for the loss of sales due to the tariffs. Everyone is witnessing these extreme prices worldwide. In some places, it's even worse than the US so far. Though, with the new tariffs just implemented, that's about to change too. And look, I don't even know what to tell you guys, except if you want to scream, drop the price, then don't look at Nintendo or Sony or whoever right now. We can do that later. What you need to do first is fire these dictators that we have in our respective countries. Here in the US, we have a solution. We can do this by voting in an entirely democratic, blue, left-wing Congress within the next 2 years. If we get a majority in both the House and the Senate, then they can impeach Trump and remove him from office. And if JD Vance comes in to replace him, they can do the same to him because we gave them the power to do so. And after all of that, we can begin the years of work it'll take to reverse all the damage that Trump has already inflicted on us within 2 months so far. This is just one example for one country, and if you live in a nation run by a dictator who's helping initiate these trade wars, like Russia or North Korea, then I'm sure your means of doing so could be very different from ours. But honestly, this could be our last chance here in America. If Trump is allowed to serve his full 4 years, then we're allowing him to continue opening up avenues for himself to stay in office against our will, whether that be via a 3rd term or a lifelong decree. Wake up, people! Don't let the screams continue to go into a void, and don't let your screams go into a void either. Do something about it. Vote accordingly. Do the right thing. We know what needs to happen. All that's left is for everyone who supported this man to swallow their pride and join in. Fix the mess you, yes you, helped create. It's now or never. And look, if you're someone like me who feels really hopeless because we weren't the ones who voted for this in the first place, then please, what I ask of you is do not despair. Don't give in, because that is what they want. We can't let them have their way. We have to make our moves against them. There's precedent for us succeeding in the face of hopelessness. A recent election for a state Supreme Court position in Wisconsin voted overwhelmingly for the progressive Democratic candidate. She was even running against a candidate endorsed and funded by Elon Musk, the world's richest man. Like, look at this chart of how much more funding her Republican opposition had, yet she still won in a landslide. That is the power of the people. We can do this. Believe. Act. This is going to take all of us, but so long as we're on the same page, there is hope. We are running out of time, but we can do this in the short amount of time we have left. If you want something more lighthearted to watch next, check out my technical breakdown on all the ways Pokemon's graphics are improved in the Switch 2 version of Legends EA. The link's right in front of you and in the pinned comment. If you have the means to support me during this difficult time, I could use it as well, and want your name featured at the end of all of my videos, please join my Patreon with the link in front of you or in the description, or become a channel member right here on YouTube. I've been JotoJohnny, and I'll catch you all there.